Welcome to the Unpacking It podcast with Bryce Johnson. It's a show that unpacks sports, faith, and life with intriguing guests from the sports and entertainment world. Enjoy inspiring conversations and thought-provoking interviews. You'll hear stories from people that will inspire, challenge, and encourage you. Now, from the Unpacking It studios in Charlotte, North Carolina, uniting sports fans everywhere, here is Bryce Johnson.
And we're back here at Charlotte Country Club at the Madeline's Fund Celebrity Golf Tournament. And joining us right now is NASCAR driver Kevin Harvick. Kevin, thanks so much for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Man, well, we're glad to have you. And I guess first off, so you're a NASCAR driver. What's your golf game like?
My golf game is it struggles a little bit. But,
yeah,
and mainly because of the fact that I don't have enough time to play golf. We race 40 weekends out of the year, and I have a 6-year-old and a 1-year-old. So Mom looks at me a little cross-eyed when I say, "Hey, we're going to go play golf," unless I put Keelan in the car, my son, with me. So,
nice.
So usually it's myself and a 6-year-old out on the golf course, and that can be challenging.
That's cool. Has he picked up the game at all?
He does. He enjoys to go play golf. My big thing with Keelan, we went and played a couple days ago. My big thing with him, especially this time of year, is he wants to sprint from every shot. I'm like, hey man, you can get back in the cart and we can talk on the next shot. You don't have to run to the next shot and hit the ball again.
Speed golf.
Well, we get 3 or 4 holes in. His face is beat red. He's sweating to death, and the next thing you know, he's cranky and tired. So we have a good time, and we have a little 50-yard hole in my backyard.
Nice.
that we'll go out there and hit shots on. So I enjoy the game of golf. We have a management company that we represent a few PGA golfers. So we spend a lot of time watching golf, and playing is fun, but not necessarily the best thing that we do.
No, that's cool. Kevin Harvick, our guest right now on Unpacking It, and so. All right, we're 5 months in, a couple big races in the next couple of weeks for you. How would you summarize the season? What are some of the highlights for you personally?
Yeah, NASCAR changed a lot of the rules this year, and for us, we haven't been to victory lane yet. We've had a lot of good races. We've had a couple bad ones, and had to adjust on a few things in-house at the race shop in order to get ourselves where we need to be. We had a great week in Kansas last week. Had a little issue there and had to pit there late in the race, but led a bunch of laps, and so I think our cars are running good. We just gotta find victory lane, but we've had a good solid year. So a lot of people say, well, you're not running as good as you did last year. I said, yeah, well, I've had 17 other years in my career that haven't run as well. That was a once in a lifetime year. I think we won 8 or 9 races and went deep into all the way through the playoffs and wound up finishing 3rd in the points. So it's not a year like that, but it's been a solid year so far.
And how do you manage those expectations, and how do you deal with the experiencing the great year and enjoying being able to win and feeling good versus the years that maybe you're not living up to expectations and you're hearing more questions and criticism?
Yeah, well, this is my 19th year at this level, so I've raced my whole life, and for me, I understand that every year is going to be different. You're going to have different challenges and different things happening. I think as far as those expectations and the noise and all the things that come with the chatter, you go out and you do your job every week, and I honestly don't pay attention to a lot of it. I've really, as I've gone through time, I'll put my opinion out there and my thoughts out there, and the reaction is really unnecessary to pay attention to. And I've learned a lot of this from having the radio show and from doing more TV. That's more of trying to create a story and follow a story than it is to have a career and try to progress with your team. They're two totally separate thought processes in how you approach things. So it's good for me to have to separate those two things because of the fact that when you're on the air and you're trying to do the show, you want to tell those stories and you want to be a part of those stories. And then when you're in the car and paying attention to your own thing, so it's very strange because I'm in a world that I can do radio shows and do TV broadcasts and still do my regular job. So I guess it's good practice for your next phase of life.
That's right. Well, is that something that you want to pursue?
It's
after
definitely
your racing career.
Yeah, at this point, I think this is the 3rd year for me in the Fox TV booth. We do 8, 9, 10 events, during the Xfinity races for Fox and our third year of the radio show. So I enjoy the sport. I enjoy talking about the sport. I think as you look at being relevant to the fans and the things that you do on the racetrack in order to tell them about what's going on, I think that they enjoy that. So for me, it's something that I can't just stop, and I don't have any plans of stopping anytime soon.
Yeah.
But just going, and then stop and not do anything else would be pretty tough. So there's going to have to be a gap filler in there for me because we live a pretty fast-paced life, and it'd be hard to go from wide open to nothing. I do have 2 kids that go
That'll
to
keep
school.
you going.
Yeah, one's in school, one's really young, but that'll keep you going to a certain extent, but you still have to personally feel, responsible for something and go out and do something, I feel like anyway.
Definitely. Kevin Harvick, our guest right now on Unpacking It, NASCAR driver, sitting down with us here at Madeline's Fund Golf Tournament here in Charlotte. And so we love talking sports and life here on the show, but also love talking faith. And so very simply, I'll ask, what has God been teaching you recently? What are some things that have been on your heart?
Yeah, for me, there's a lot of things that come. That's a loaded question.
Yeah.
And I think as you look at that, for me, a lot of that comes through my kids and the things. Keelan he goes to school at Charlotte Christian, and we're involved at his school. So obviously we're around it on a weekly basis, from bedtime prayers to daily prayers to chapel on Thursday. You have to talk and be a part of his life and his daily routines, and that's really helped us step up our game at home. So for me, it's I think life has a funny way of just showing you things and teaching you lessons, and it does it at the most unforeseen times. You look at the things, and for me, it's really all about my kids, and so you hear some of the things that he says and some of the things that he does, and they seem so small, but it's those little small reminders of how precious life is, and the things that the way that he sees things through his eyes, for me, is the most refreshing part. So I think it's through my kids.
Wow.
And through Keelan and just the things that he says and the things that he does and the questions that he has. It's almost like, hey, man, you need to take a step back and remember, life is not about what you do on Sunday. Life is about that little guy standing right there and that little girl sitting right there. For me, it's a daily reminder because he could care less about. I mean, he loves what I do, but he could care less about the result and the things that he does.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing that, and thanks for sitting down with us. Good luck out on the golf course today and the rest of the way with the NASCAR season and Coca-Cola 600 coming up, which is a big one here in Charlotte. So wish you the best.
No problem. I appreciate you having me.
All right. Thanks a lot. Kevin Harvick joining us here on Unpacking It.
For more information about the show, our events, and other resources, visit unpackinit.com. That's unpackinit.com. We hope you are encouraged, inspired, and challenged by what you heard today. To support our show and Unpacking It Ministries with a financial gift, visit unpackinit.com/donate. We look forward to unpacking sports, faith, and life with you again next week.